everybody, I am the Tipsy Psychic, and today I'm going to do a compatibility video with astrology and all. I'm going to talk about the compatibility between a Virgo Libra Cusp and a Taurus. Oh boy. You may feel like you found some stability at first, but this relationship is a fantasy. It's easy to get swept away by the passion. You both will try to get the other person to see it your way. You care about perception and you need your Taurus to agree with you on how things should look. You both can be a very competitive couple. You're always trying to one-up others together, even if it's subconscious. It's good to take time to yourself. You may start to feel lonely after a while, but don't wall yourself off from your Taurus. Okay. You both need to create a sustainable belief system. Enjoy your private life together, one that doesn't have to meet anyone's standards. Things can be very entertaining. You can have the best times with one another. It can start to feel like your love for one another is a drug, and you feel like you can't get enough. It starts to feel very unhealthy. You just want to experience that pleasure. It feels like a high. You both may have difficulty agreeing on your values, whether that's politics or what is even appropriate to wear. You both are very creative and artistic people, and you may use each other to make it in the art world. You both like things of high quality. You like luxury, even if you don't even always agree on what that is, like what luxury is to you and to them. Is this luxurious? I don't know. You need to be realistic to actually make things work. Most of the time, your fantasies are in your head. Stay grounded. Your Taurus might try to turn you into someone you're not. Don't lose yourself in this relationship. Stay true to who you are. You can be stubborn about how you like things. Try to be more open-minded. You have your way of doing things, no doubt, but it doesn't mean that their way is bad or wrong. Just respect their opinions and their ideas. You would be the logical one in this combo. They might make you feel like the critical thinker. You take turns being the alpha. The Taurus is more on top of things when it comes to like what's going on around you, whether that's the news or just like something that's happening down the street. They're usually the ones who know more about the latest trends in pop culture. They know what's in and what looks good. You both are go-getters. When it comes to making it, you are hustlers. And you just won't back down. You have so much pride in being the couple you are. You're like a power couple with too much pride. Others might feel a little bit beneath you, like you're kind of untouchable. Maybe you're at a different social status than they are. It's like you're kind of higher up in a way than they are. And when it comes to your relationship, it's the same thing. But usually only when it comes to the artistic realm. You actually often meet as artists, like through your creativity somehow. So even if you aren't like a professional artist of some sort, you meet in a very creative way and through your expression. Living in this dream world of yours can be overwhelming. So you need to find a balance. Stay down to earth. Don't forget your roots. Money or materialistic things, it's not everything. There's more to life. It's like you always want things when you're together. You influence each other materialistically. You might start to feel anxious, kind of like a worrywart. No one likes a worrywart, but you get anxious about your Taurus. It's like you're worried about them. And it can kind of turn into nagging sometimes, so be careful about that. Don't start the nagging. No one likes the nagging. Don't be a nagger. You develop this network together. You are that couple that people go to or look up to for advice in the industry you're in. Because you have experience and you know things. You know the way things work, and together you're like one person with one wonderful mind of great ideas, but they're all very different. It makes you a great resource. It makes you as a couple a great resource. And you yourself are very resourceful. You may develop obsessions. And Taurus hates people who come across as know-it-alls or who kind of seem stuck up. They don't want to be around people who seem fake or phony to them, or who only care about getting somewhere, especially in the art world. You're very kind and polite together. Watch out for signs of addiction, binging, or even like following a band on tour across the country together. Often you meet that way actually, where you're actually pursuing an obsession, and it becomes even more of an obsession when you're together. And then you start being kind of reckless with how you spend money, and it just can get really out of hand and really unhealthy. Don't let it get that far. Don't go bankrupt, okay? This excessive need to enjoy something until it becomes poison. Your relationship can become this poison. It can become very toxic. Give your family the chance to get to know your Taurus. You can't make your family like your Taurus. The more you try to promote your Taurus or talk about your Taurus in order to get them to sound likable or be liked by your family, the more it's going to backfire on you. So you kind of just have to let things play out if you're having family drama. Because quite often with this combo, your family might not like the Taurus. Obviously, it depends on their signs too, but they might not like who you're with. And face it, not everyone has to feel the same way you do. The little things over time become big things. If you're having like a small disagreement, or you're uncomfortable with something that is happening with your Taurus now, don't wait till it grows and festers and explodes. Just tackle it now. Don't let any resentment build up, because that's kind of how this relationship falls apart usually. It's when you kind of neglect all the little things, and then they've just become bigger and bigger and bigger, and everything falls apart. So as issues arise in this relationship, just try to tackle them and address them one by one, and things should be more smooth that way. You'd have a similar way of budgeting. So money issues shouldn't be like a huge burden or problem for this couple in the long run. Just stay in tune with your world and don't get carried away. You can be a little bitchy sometimes, or you can come across as stuck up, but you're not trying to be. It's just how you are perceived from time to time, especially to a Taurus in the beginning. But it's just because you have high standards, and there's nothing wrong with that. You like nice things, and you're sensitive to what you buy or receive as gifts. And Taurus may not like that. They don't know how to deal with that level of pickiness. You both know what beauty looks like, but you may not agree on what it is. You both are entrepreneurs at heart, and you share an understanding about what it means to be professional. Work on your self-restraint. When you want something, you will get it. But you need to chill out for a sec. Take into account how your friends and family are doing. Don't forget to check in with them. You never feel satisfied. You crave more. You both usually fall for each other based on looks. Love at first sight is actually very common for this duo. So if you didn't believe in it before, believe in it, you guys, because this is actually really common between the two of you. It's like love at first sight. You see each other and bam, you're in love. You seduce each other. You want everyone to see things your way when it comes to the relationship. That's an issue you need to work on. You can be very codependent with each other. Neediness may take over. You need so much love for each other. And it gets to the point where you need so much love for each other that it starts to become unrealistic. sex becomes more and more of a very important element. And sometimes things are just too good to be true, you know? And you know deep down that there is something wrong. Something's not working, but you don't want to face it. You don't want to mess with what you have going for you right now. So you neglect dealing with little issues as a couple. You put it off. You don't want to fuck with this perfect fantasy you have. You don't even want to express your concerns. There's this fear of shaking things up, of realizing that this isn't real. Sometimes in certain situations, your relationship can actually stop feeling like it's yours, like it's your relationship. It can start feeling like it's for other people, or it's about proving to other people that you're perfect for each other. And it starts to feel empty without them. You can become very clingy. You feel like you don't really know how to go on without them. You may find that you're very different when it comes to your priorities and your beliefs. And in the long run, this is going to make it very difficult. You can seem high maintenance or seem needy when really you just like things a certain way. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have trouble breaking up with a Taurus because deep down you might be afraid that you'll never find anyone as attractive. You need a good-looking lover. Marriages happen, but they're not usually very long-lasting. You need someone you can depend on, and a Taurus is definitely secure enough to be that person for you. You can feel so happy that you're with someone so attractive, that you're so attracted to, that you can stop really caring if you're not being true to yourself. And surprisingly, you can do this for a really long time with a Taurus. You stop being proud of who you are when you do that, though. Even if it's all in your head, it doesn't matter. Even if it's because you are high off of drugs or just drunk or just so impressed by them, you may feel like this is love, but it's not healthy. The Taurus will probably have a wake-up call when they realize how different your goals are. And they may realize like they're gonna perceive you as too shallow. They may be very critical of you. You have a very different type of depth. They may not appreciate your way of thinking and your values. They may not be as understanding after a while. And the Taurus is usually the one who ends this relationship, usually. Taurus has a strong backbone. You feel like you can count on them, you know? You may get under their skin because you might seem too anxious or nervous or uptight. And they can only take on so much insecurity, okay? When you start dating a Taurus, you might have to let go of some core values and sacrifice that in order to make the relationship keep going. It might be a barrier that you have to kind of push aside, honestly, for things to work out. They're eye candy for you. You love having them on your arm at a party or a soiree. You get married and then you have to find like a balance, or things are doomed. You can have great times as a married couple. When it comes to enjoyment or just being amused or just having fun, you're on top of it. You can have a blast, but it may be very difficult to get through serious events. Your love and commitment may lack depth and patience to work through things. Like say one of you gets cancer, or a family member dies that is very close to one of you, or just impactful events that are very serious that could really impact your relationship. Those are not things that this relationship can really handle, and it's gonna be really hard to keep things going through those moments. It's just very rare for this combo to thrive and like get through these damaging times. And there may be very serious consequences. The fights will be very overwhelming. The fights can become very public. And you're like, where is all this misery and pain coming from? It feels terrible, and it's a very messy divorce or breakup or separation. It's just a big chaotic mess. Don't wait until it's too late. That rhymed. Denial is a big issue here. Even if you neglect just the smallest things like messiness, dirty dishes, procrastination, being late to something, things will get worse and worse, so you need to talk about them. When it comes to parenting together and raising children, you're actually very supportive of one another. You work together really well in those situations. You make a great parental team. You really think outside the box as parents, and you come up with creative ways to raise your children together. You always have a really good time, like hanging out with them as friends, but they're not the kind of friends, if you're just platonic, that you just like pour your heart out to, and like that you'd call up in the middle of the night with all your sorrows and vent to. Like, that's not the kind of friendship you have together. You just wouldn't feel very satisfied emotionally from that. Like, it just doesn't work that way usually. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you are a Virgo Libra Cusp or a Taurus, or you've like been on this combo, or you know people on this combo, or whatever, just comment below. Let me know what you think. I really want to know. Like this video and subscribe. Bye.